Hey, kings and queens, royal people. This is Ari Holmes with Empower Me with Ari podcast. You guys, thank you for tuning in today. I am enthused with our special guest today. This is such a dynamic, powerful woman, and you guys are going to agree. Once we have, go through the podcast session, her testimony is going to change your life. When I first heard it, my life was changed instantly. God really spoke through her testimony in regards to some similar things that I had dealt with in my life, and what she's doing, the drive that she has is absolutely amazing, you guys. So today we're going to be talking about trauma cannot stop destiny. No matter what we go through in life, we have to understand that the traumatic experiences that we face cannot stop the plans of God. Just like Joseph, everything that he went through, the enemy wanted to shut down his purpose, shut down the plan that God had for him. But no matter what happened, he still survived. He still came out on top, and he came out greater than he went in. In Genesis 50 verse 20, it says, this is what Joseph was saying. He said, what the enemy meant for bad, God will turn it for your good. Nothing can stop the plans of God, you guys. I pretty much paraphrase that scripture, but that's pretty much what Joseph was saying. He told his brothers that what they meant it for evil, but God had a greater plan. He's seen the end of a thing. And we may face uncertainties in life, but we can't allow them to stop us from trusting God nor moving forward in life. Traumatic experiences can cause fear to an attempt to overtake our lives, but if we allow God to, he will heal us and then bring us to a better place that he has for us. Trauma is not the end. Remember, victory is. So I'd like to introduce this powerful woman, Amber Rochelle. Hey.
Hey, y'all.
Thank you so
much.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate your time. Can you introduce yourself more in depth? What's your story and where are you from?
Yes. So, hey, y'all. I'm Amber Rochelle. I am currently in Arizona, but I'm a San Diego native. I just say, born and raised in San Diego. By way of Hawaii. My mom's from Hawaii, and then my dad's from Texas, believe it or not.
Wow.
So they had us in San Diego. So I'm a mother of 6 beautiful children, 2 grown kids, and then 4 teenagers now. Wow. I have a grandson who is just like the light of my life. He is going to be 2 in December. I've been married for 13 years now to my king. He is just incredible, incredible man of God. You'll hear about him in my testimony. But I am a wife, a mother, a grandmother. I own a business strategy agency. I promote branding. I do lots of different things. But recently, I have really tapped into my purpose, and I'm speaking to women, and I'm helping to raise crowns, one crown at a time. Really empowering women to utilize what they've gone through and what they've been through to really identify what their purpose is and how they can be great and do great things because there's greatness in them. You didn't go through what you went through by accident.
Come on.
As we're just saying, that everything that we go through is for our good. We don't understand it when we're in it. But if we have someone that can kind of remind us of that as we're going through it, and help us just to lift our crown, I feel like that's my job. I do have a nonprofit, Queens Supporting Queens, which is like the light of my life. Seriously, like it does something for me internally to see women just walking in their purpose and doing what they're supposed to do and applauding other women as they go. So Queens Supporting Queens, you'll hear more about that, but it's I'm just your everyday girl. I'm your everyday busy girl.
Love it. The true definition of a queen. I'm telling you, the virtuous, or that Proverbs 31 woman, that wife that the Bible talks about. Yes, I love it. And so, like I was saying, you have such a powerful story, and it will continue to help others. I know it will. When did you know that you had a calling on your life, or what your purpose was? And was it easy for you to embrace it?
So I didn't really fully understand what my purpose was until I became a mother. I became a mother at 14 years old. And in that, you kind of becoming a mom in general, not even just a young mother, just becoming a mother in general, you ultimately view your purpose as motherhood. I am to raise this child, and I'm supposed to, this is my purpose. This child is my purpose. But growing with my children, having my first daughter at 14, the second at 15, then 17, and then, you know, having all of my children by the age of 20. 22. Yeah, I was 22 by the time I had 6 children.
Okay.
And really thinking that that was my purpose, but walking through life as a mother, as a woman, and going through the trauma that I was going through, because literally I was raising children while I was growing up. So,
my God.
14 years old and a mother, 14 years old, having to hold down a full-time job. I became a wife at 16 years old.
Wow.
So learning and growing through it, thinking that your purpose is one thing, but watching life happen and watching the strength that God gives you, literally watching it, thinking I can't do this, but feeling like I can.
Right.
Thinking that, this is it. This is the thing that's going to take us out. And knowing that it isn't, really evolved this queen mentality, this royalty, mentality that I have that is God-given. I'm a child of the King. No matter what I've done, no matter what I've gone through, He will always make a way out of absolutely no way. 14 years old, come on. Right. So I didn't really step into my purpose, speaking into women until I would say once I moved to Arizona. Once I moved here, I had gone through, my kid's father. We talked about at the event there that my kid's father was murdered. And my then boyfriend, husband now, we're looking at each other like, what do we do? And I had women around me that just reminded me of who I was. Now, I had people my whole life telling me, you couldn't do it, you're not going to do it, you can't do it. But feeling like, but I can, but I will, but I am, but having those women around me to applaud me and to push me into purpose. And at times when I was doing stupid things, really lifting me up and reminding me of who I am. It wasn't until my daughters needed me to be who I needed. And so that's when I realized, Amber, this is purpose. Wow. This is bigger than you. This is generational for women, in general. This wasn't just for you. So we need, I had to boss up at that moment.
Right.
So was I comfortable with it? No, I'm still sometimes I'm like, Lord, are you sure you want me to go talk to this woman? Because I have been through everything. And every time I get that feeling, I'm reminded of that little girl who needed to hear it. That 14-year-old mother. When I became, a widow at 20, it was. I needed that. I needed someone to tell me it's all good. You're gonna be okay. It may not feel like it. Remind me that greater is He that is in you, that He is in the world. To remind me of those things. So, am I comfortable with it? I seek God for comfort any and every time I'm utilizing my purpose because I remember I needed a me.
Yeah. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And listening to you, everybody figures out or learns their purpose differently. And I hear you saying, like, as you went, as you grew, then you were like, okay, this seems like this is it. God, okay, all right, I'll do this. And it's kind of like, like Gideon. He was like, hey, I'm young, like we're the weakest of the clan. He had every excuse as to why he couldn't do certain things, but God was like, no, I chose you. I didn't make a mistake. I chose you. I know you were 14. I know you were 15, but still, I have purpose for your life. There's a group of women, there's a group of women and men that you're going to be able to touch based off your testimony. So that's so dynamic, that's so powerful. That we don't have to have it all together before we know what our purpose is. We just keep moving, trusting God, stay connected, and watch what He does for our lives. That's powerful. Thank you for sharing that. So, and I guess this next question, you kind of answered it, but when you became a teen mom, so were you afraid? And if so, how did you overcome this fear? And do you believe that learning to be a mother at a young age prepared you for what you're doing at this moment right now? I know we kind of talked about it, but a little more in depth. So was I afraid? Absolutely.
Absolutely. I was afraid, and it's interesting because I wasn't afraid to be a mother. I was afraid of what everyone would think of me as a mother. I knew I would be a great mom. I knew that. I love babies. And I was the oldest of my siblings. And that wasn't a thing. It was just, the fear set in with what is everybody going to think of me? How are people going to treat her? Are people going to, are they going to treat her differently as she grows up with this young mother? That was my greatest fear. My greatest fear was always protecting her and her identity. I didn't want her to be the result of the statistical teen mom. So I did everything opposite. You name it, the statistical things that a teen mom would do or that you would see, I did the exact opposite. Because I didn't want her opportunities to be limited. I didn't want her exposure to life to be limited. And I didn't want her to see life through a 14-year-old mother's lens. I really wanted to expose her to life. So I knew I could do it. But my fear was everyone else in the community and just family even, that I was fearful. I could take it, but I didn't want her to. So was I afraid? I was afraid of other people, yes. I was not afraid to be a mom. And I think as we got older, now it's kind of weird. I'm in a new season as a mother. I'm a 35-year-old grandmother and a 35-year-old mother of 2 adult daughters. So that relationship dynamic is even different. So I'm learning how to adjust, and I'm learning how to be that mom now. So yes, I was fearful, but I knew I had the tools. I knew I could do it. It was just being free of everybody else's opinion of
Wow, that's dope. See, I feel led to mention this right here. What I just heard is God voice. Sometimes a lot of people, they have this idea about how God sounds. Well, I don't know if I hear him. I don't know about this and I don't know about that. But as you speak, it was like God's voice was speaking on the inside of you, even if you didn't recognize it, but you knew something was telling you, don't give up. You can do this regardless of other people's opinions. You can do this. You can make it through. You can make it out. And that's so powerful, because a lot of people need to understand that prompting that they feel on the inside of them. They need to understand that it's bigger than them. It's not just themselves telling themselves like, hey, don't give up, but it's God speaking through us. And we need to understand, we need to make sure that we don't give up too soon, because there is absolutely greater that's going to come out of this. So that's absolutely amazing. So what's one piece of advice that you would give a teenage mom right now that may be feeling discouraged, or she may be feeling afraid, like, oh my goodness, what would you say to her?
You can do it. You can do it. And I get emotional when we talk about it, because I remember what that feeling is so heavy. That feeling is it can make or break you. In my case, it made me. It made me who I am. It made me extremely committed. It made me extremely resilient to pain and pressure. However, you have that choice to make that simple decision. Can I do this? Yes, you can. It's guaranteed. He will not leave you nor forsake you. Like there's nothing that you can do that will separate you from the love of God. And as a teenage mother, sometimes we feel like, oh, this is it. I have maxed out God's love for me, or I've maxed out grace. There's no way I can make it back from this. But God is, to realize God's love, it's imaginable, right? But when you're in it, it's almost like, this is it, God. I have done it. I've made the mistake of all mistakes. That's and who are we, right? And God's like, no, I love you. I will always love you, and I'll always be there for you. So as a teenage mom, no matter how that baby was conceived, no matter what brought that baby about, that baby was God destined and ordained. You were ordained to be that baby's mother. Don't let society, church, we tend to do this. We tend to make people, because my daughter was a teenage mother and I was traumatized by it. And I didn't necessarily give her the words and encouragement she needed during this time. So it was almost an eye-opener for me. Amber, you were doing this same thing. And what did you need somebody to tell you and show you during this time? That you can do it. You can do it. You will do it, and you'll be great at it, no matter what it looks like. And guess what? You don't have all the tools, and you don't know it all, but God is going to be with you every step, every milestone that baby has, every milestone you have as a mother. God has you, he sees you, and he's on your side. You got it.
That is beautiful. And I just want to add to that, we have to remind ourselves that only God can give life, regardless of how the baby came. Only God can give life. And he can't give life. He only twists and perverts things. So if you keep in mind that baby literally is from God, you can make it through. That's absolutely beautiful. So speaking of, this is wonderful. Transitioning right to the next thing, it just goes hand in hand. So when did you experience God's love for the first time? You kind of pretty much just said it at the end.
So it was receiving God's grace. It was receiving the grace of God. Really, so it's twofold for me. Really receiving God's grace and acceptance when I became a mother at 14. That was like wow, God, you really love me moment. However, when I had gone through everything that I had gone through with my kids, and just the issues that my first husband and I had, and our separating, and then him dying, but then meeting, he was murdered in 2006.
Wow.
I had already met my husband. Now we were dating at the time, and when my first husband was murdered, John's love for me and my children was literally the physical embodied love of God.
Oh my goodness.
To feel someone, I mean, he was, a single college student, no kids. And here I am, dating him, and he's just getting to know my children, to becoming a father overnight, and wanting to. Me being like, hey, I understand if this is too much, you can go ahead. God has great plans for you. And he was like, no, you are my plan.
Oh my goodness.
He was like, I didn't know this was going to happen. I didn't know that, that they wouldn't have their father. However, I'm in this with you, and I'm going to be here. And, I was kind of like, what's the catch? You know how we do. We'd be like, okay, Lord. All right. But he was literally that. And he is huge. He's 6'6", but his arms, literally, I remember a moment of me just feeling like, hey, I can't do this. I was breaking at this moment when Big Moni was murdered, and I was trying to figure out how we were going to tell my kids. And he was like, I'll do it with you. And he held me.
Oh my goodness.
And I literally remember feeling, this is what the love of God physically must feel like. Because I literally was able to melt, be vulnerable, be afraid, be unsure, and really, realistically, be naked in my emotions for my children's father, for my first husband, for everything. And him being like, but I got you. And literally holding me. That's when I felt the love of God. That's when I knew that nothing can separate this. And this was God ordained, because I was even like, hold up.
Right.
but watching a man choose you and choose your children, God, like Jesus, like God, he chose us. He chose us. There's nothing we can do that would separate him. So for John to really wrap his arms around me and my children and never left. My children never went without a father a day in their life. That is the physical embodiment for me of the love of God. That was it.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
Grace at 14. Grace at 14, and the love right around 22. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. God had you covered. He has
listen.
You read something like, okay, God, you had me covered, but listening to this story, it's like, oh my goodness.
He's like, I got it. Yeah. And that's what he was telling me the whole entire time, 13 years old with this baby in my womb to every different stage is, I got you, Amber. I know you're a planner. I know you like to know how things are going to end up. I know you want to make sure that your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted, but I've got you. Let me do this. And time again, he has proven this to be true in my life.
Yes, that's absolutely amazing. And I know single mothers that are looking at this, and even single mothers that, women without children that will be encouraged by this, because it is like inspiration to hear your story, to let them know, like, regardless of how things turn out, God has greater for you. That is greater, like a man to step up literally and say, hey, I don't care. I'm here for your children. I will be the father that they need. I will help you through this. I'm not leaving your side. That right there,
girl. That's why when I talk to a lot of our queens, and I'm like, girl, there's no man that's gonna take me. I've got 2 kids, and I got this, and I've got that. I'm like, he's out there for you. He's being created to be the father he needs to be for you right now.
That's so good.
My husband had no idea what to do with children. He loves kids. He was being created his whole life for such a time as that, for such a time as needed, and Queen, he's out there. God has him. God's working on him. So I don't believe in that whole, there's no man out there that's gonna take me. Yes, it is.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. And so I want to ask this question: did the trauma that you experienced in your past make it hard for you to love yourself and others, or was it just an easy flow? Like, okay, God, you've shown yourself, and I'm good.
No, I think it's definitely, especially with women. A lot of my trauma stemmed from women. So it always made me look into how and why we act the way we do. How and why do we respond the way we do? So my childhood trauma, the molestations and things that I went through, I felt like I was uncovered. I felt like, the women in my life, ultimately as a kid, I'm thinking everybody has to know. They didn't know. However, the type of community that we are raising our children in, are we aware of the men that are around? Are we aware of the people that we're bringing around our children? It just caused me to be more aware. It caused me to look into why we act the way we do, why some women are catty and some aren't. Usually it stems from a piece of trauma. So my trauma is no different from the next queen's trauma. Trauma is trauma, and I'm going to react different than you react.
Right.
So no, trauma, I think for me has just allowed me to open my eyes a little more to people and their little idiosyncrasies that make them a little bit different.
Right.
Why are they like that? I bet you she doesn't have an attitude just because, sis.
Right.
I bet you she's not upset just because. So there's probably something deeper. My trauma has also allowed me to be more aware in my relationships. What am I bringing? Am I bringing trauma to this? Am I responding? Am I reacting? Is something triggering me?
Wow.
I'm 35 years old and I still get triggered by things that happened in my childhood. So how do I know that woman that I just interacted with at this networking event who was cutting me up, how do I know she wasn't triggered by something I said?
Right.
So it just allows me to operate in a little bit more grace, because everybody's doing the best they can. Everybody's doing the best they can, and God's grace is sufficient, and He will get us. He'll get us through any and every situation. However, He does require us to extend that same grace to others.
Right. That's good. That right there is like the true definition of God's love. Being embodied in a person. The best thing that we can do for somebody else is show love, regardless of how they're acting, regardless of whatever, because the truth be told, there is always more than likely 99.9% a deeper root as to why they're doing certain things. And so we have to love them. The motto or the statement, that I like to live by is we love people back to health. And, God did that for me, going through the trauma with sexual abuse myself as a kid, 4 or 5 years old. And really having attitudes and not really being able to embrace people, not being able to love people, and like, God, what's wrong? And He showed me myself like, these are just trauma wounds, but I'm going to love you. So allowing Him to love me. Now I'm like, hey, I have to, give this love back and love people back to health. because that's what we're here to do. We're here to be, in the image and likeness of God. Absolutely. So that's amazing. That is amazing. So I'm blessed by your drive and your tenacity to keep moving forward no matter what in life. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So we must have, some type of support system. Let's talk about who's helped you through it all. Yeah. So, and I know you mentioned your now husband, he was helping you. So I want to ask, who was there for you while you were facing your giants in life from the past up to now? So who was helping you through it all?
Yeah. So believe it or not, my children were my biggest help. They were constant reminders of my why and my purpose. They were it. I always say I had 6 little people looking at me like looking at me like, Mama, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna respond? And even now, I mean, they're grown now, and they are their opinion of me matters most.
Wow.
My husband and my children, their opinion, I mean, they are so proud of me at times, but I know that there are moments that they weren't. And I know there are moments where I hadn't been the best mother. However, my children, especially my daughters, now my sons, but especially my daughters looking at me and, I always question, am I making you proud? Am I somebody that you would want to be? Am I an influence in your life? Am I someone that you would aspire to be? Because I know I found out when they became teenagers that I wasn't their greatest influence. I was so sad. However, when I was going through everything that I was going through, our family is so tight knit. I'd be able to come home and just be mom. I'd be able to come home and just be John's wife. And I didn't have to be the CEO. I didn't have to be the brand manager. I didn't have to be, the ministry director. I didn't have to be any of that. I didn't have to be the speaker. I was just able to come home and be mom and let my hair down and be vulnerable and be insecure. And they always, every single time, would speak life into me the way I needed to be spoken to. Also, I have a really good circle of girlfriends, my queens. I mean, they rock with me no matter what. I could call them, and I have called them at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Hey, I need you to ride with me to X, Y, and Z. This is going down. And they're like, all right, let's go. Like, no question. No question. Or, hey, I'm going to California this weekend. I got this event. Y'all want to roll? Sure, let's go. And vice versa. They've been here for my children. They've been here for me and through traumatic events that we've gone through as a family. I have a very significant, very strong group of queens who have really held my arms, held my crown when I've snatched it off my head at times. And they've held it for me. They've dusted it off as I got myself together, So really my family, my circle of girls and my husband have been key in me and in polishing those smooth stones as I was getting ready to go fight these giants, because they definitely have been my backbone through it all.
That's amazing. And so how important is it to not isolate yourself while going through challenges? And this is for people that are listening.
Yes. So I am an advocate for this. Even when I have girlfriends or I hear about people who are going through and they isolate themselves, or they decide, nah, girl, I don't want to talk, or I don't want to be a burden. Listen. We are in this thing together. God gave us a unit of family, of friends for purpose. He knew we couldn't do these things alone. He knew that we couldn't go through these things alone. So my advice is stick close to your family, stick close to your girlfriends or your peers, and be honest. So many times we want to act like we have it all together. And how many people are we touching? How are we effective if we act like we have it all together? Who are you helping? Who are you helping? So really just being vulnerable and allowing people to help you. That person that's helping you is going to be blessed by helping you. But they need to have the opportunity to do so. And be okay with leaning on people. So many times we have this stigma of the strong woman, the strong queen being this woman who does everything by herself. She's not. She has a whole, if you look at royalty, there is a whole slew of people that help this queen operate. There is a whole team of people behind me that help me and motivate me daily to get up and do what I do. So my advice would be to lean on those people and be honest about your feelings. Don't act like you have it all together if you don't, because I guarantee you're going to bless somebody with your vulnerability, and they're going to be blessed by giving that away.
Yes, that is powerful. That gave a whole new definition to Superwoman.
Girl.
Oh my goodness. The ones that are literally behind the scenes standing next to you create the Superwoman. She's not created by herself.
No.
So
and I believe that has really been one of my gifts in life. You know, my gifts, the reason I got into brand and management and marketing was because I love assisting a woman get the job done, or specifically women, first ladies. You know, I love to see that the vision that they have sometimes is minimized or it's put on the back burner. I come along to help push that thing. Like, no, let's rally up a team of women and let's make that happen, because your gift is just as important. Your voice needs to be heard just as loud.
Right.
There are little girls and teenagers and young women and older women that need to hear specifically from you.
Yeah.
God gave you something. So how can I help you bring that out? How can I help you enhance that thing? So I'm all about, don't stand in the background. There's a whole slew of people. I'm typically that girl in the background that's pushing that girl out in the front, because that does something for me to see a woman thrive in her purpose.
My goodness, that is such a blessing. That's a blessing from God. Seriously, because you don't really see that a lot nowadays. You're seeing it more and more because so many women think that they're each other's competition, and it's truth be told, we are our greatest competition. Like, because no one can beat you being you. You know what I mean? And so having that mindset to push women, you will excel exceedingly, because this is what God wants us to do. He wants us to be able to have like no envy, like stop envying people, see the God in other people, show them love, show them how to get to the next level. And guess what? While you're doing that, your vision is taking off. You are being and further and further and further. So I commend you, and I know that your ministry is going to thrive greater and greater and greater just because of your heart. And speaking of that, so speaking of the support systems that we just talked about, you do have an awesome ministry. I heard more about it when I met you, but can you tell everyone else a little bit more in depth, specifically about your ministry and about this queendom? Yes.
So Queens Supporting Queens, it started out, it's still a private group, however, it has turned into a nonprofit. Queens Supporting Queens is a group of small business women, mothers, entrepreneurs, just women from all walks of life. We come together and we support one another, whether it be physically supporting you, financially supporting you, mentally supporting you and getting you tools, or applauding you as you achieve things in life. I've been blessed with that. I've been blessed with women who do that for me. I've been blessed with the ability to do that for women. However, there is a large group of women who don't have that. That are afraid to say, hey, you know what, as an entrepreneur, I didn't have it this month. I didn't have it, and now I've fallen short. To see women literally rally together, donate money, and we get women's bills paid without them having to go to go and share and start all these what are they, GoFundMe and all that. No, we got you. I'm a firm believer in Queens Supporting Queens that we have everything we need. Whether it's a business tool, whether it's a link from one piece of my business to the next phase, or if it's just simple support of, hey, I got you. Hey, sis, I'm just checking in to see how you're doing mentally. Mentally, are you okay? Mentally, do I need to come in and check in? So Queens Supporting Queens is now a group of 1,300 women.
Wow.
Who have rallied together and committed to stand in the gap for each other. We've committed to raising each other's crowns. We've also committed to, being there for each other. There's no shade, there's no drama, there's no pettiness. It's really just a group that is inspiring. Now, outside of that, we are also doing small business launches, small business blessings.
I love it.
We want to help and encourage women to start that thing, whatever it is. If it's a dance class, sis, let's go.
Yeah.
The people who can do it. If it's a blog, sis, hey, let's go. I've got somebody I can connect you with.
Yeah.
You know, and we really just want to be a resource to each other. Within Queens Supporting Queens, we've raised over $4,000 in the last 6 months.
That's
we're only a 7-month-old group, and we're already up to 1,300 women, and we are growing. And the testimonies that are coming through about the connections made, and just the motivation that women are getting and feeling from their sisters is incredible. I mean, I get all kind of emails and inboxes.
Oh my goodness.
You know, thank you for what you said, because I wasn't feeling it today, and that word helped me, you know. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be for me. Somebody in that group constantly has a word for us. God is doing, this thing is God breathed. God has his breath on this thing. And he is really showing, again, his grace and his love through his sisters within this group. So Queens Supporting Queens, yes, we are on Facebook and Instagram. We are going to be doing lots more outreaches. We did outreach last July, helping some of the homeless women here in Phoenix with sanitary supplies and purses and waters and things. However, the vision is huge. We have a lot of great things coming for 2020. I'm just in awe of what God is doing with his daughters. It's a season for queens to rise up
it is.
And know who they are, and really take that crown and help another queen lift her crown and walk with her side by side.
Yes, that's so powerful. You guys, listen, you all need to connect with Amber Rochelle regarding this Queens Support Queens, because she's not just talking about it. She is literally, she practices what she preaches, and she showed us things when I went to a conference, and you know, like, this is real. This is the real deal of, that she has receipts and all this stuff. Like, she's transparent. She's an open book. Because her heart is right. And so you guys definitely support with her organization in regards to that. And so we're about to wrap it up, but, you know, kind of this whole, you know, session that we've been talking about, we all have a story. And my organization name is called It's Bigger Than Me, because God had to remind me that the things that I had gone through were not necessarily just about me, but it was about the people. And
that's good.
The help. Because a lot of times we sit there and say, God, what have I done to endure this? Like, what's going on? But he's like, I'm equipping you. I'm building up your character so that you can show people that I'm the healer. I'm the deliverer. You know, I'm going to work through you, and go ahead and share your testimony. And so my question to you would be, what would you say to people who are ashamed of telling their testimony? They're embarrassed because, you know, like I mentioned earlier, with me going through sexual abuse, being molested as a young child and then raped at 19, you know, sometimes you're like thinking in your head, well, this is my fault. I'm not telling anybody about it. But understanding that your silence can prevent somebody else's blessing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We are other people's, like, the answers to other people's prayers. So what would you tell somebody that's ashamed, that's embarrassed, like,
So for me, and I've said this before, shame is a lie. Shame is a lie, and shame is not truth. When you are walking in shame, you're walking in a lie. So we do this a lot as women. We're shameful about things that we've gone through, we've been through, that we've maybe even sometimes caused. However, where's the truth in it? The truth as a child that has been sexually abused is, the truth is it's not your fault. The truth is being quiet is not going to heal you. The truth is you are loved. The truth is you are desired. The truth is you are beautiful, you are wanted, and you are needed. The lie is keep your mouth closed. Don't tell anybody. Nobody wants to hear you. Nobody sees you. Those are all lies. Those are all things that are rooted in shame and darkness. And we are not that. Those things happen to us. However, we are the light.
Come on.
We are the light. So dark things happen, but the light eventually comes back on. So do not allow shame to dictate who you are, because shame is a lie and will have you walking around looking like somebody you aren't created to be. Shame is not your identity. You are beautiful. You are loved. You are admired. And you know, we just have to remember what that feels like. So when that feeling comes on, we immediately, I don't know if you have to write it down or just say some things to yourself, you know, this is shame and I feel ugly. I feel like no one wants me and I feel unneeded. That's a lie. So let's flip those things. I am loved. I am wanted. I am needed. I am a child of the King. Nothing that I can do, nothing that I have done will separate me from your love, God. Yes. That is true. Flip that thing around, and eventually, once you start bringing that bringing that light into that dark place, you will fully expose truth.
Yes.
Fully expose truth.
Yes.
So shame is a lie. So if you're feeling shame, let's go ahead and try and turn that thing into truth. It might be internal first, and then you might get to journaling it next. However, once it becomes truth underneath your crown, there's no stopping you then.
Yes, that is absolutely amazing. Thank you for coming on here and sharing your truths. I mean, you are such a dynamic woman of God. You really are. You carry grace, and I know, like I said, your heart is right, and God is going to catapult you even more. He's going to expand your ministry for His name's sake, because He knows your heart, that you will always give Him the glory. So keep shining. Yes, keep shining like never before. And I'm telling you, I believe that your ministry will also hit the expand and hit television as well. So,
amen. I receive that.
Yes, I receive that. So stay prepared. Stay prepared, because we need this voice. We need this voice of encouragement right now. Amen. And God has called a remnant that is not ashamed, not afraid, not, allowing the spirit of religiosity to control their lives, but saying, hey, God, how do you want to do this? However way you want to do this, I'm going to do it. And then that's how things are most effective. When we allow Holy Spirit to rule and to reign in our lives. And I see you doing that. And so, so keep going.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And so how can everybody reach out to you? I know you said that Queensport and Queens is on social media and stuff like that. Yes. What are your handles? What are your screen names? What do you have going on right now? Do you have any events right now?
Yes.
To tune into?
Yes. So Facebook, you can find me at Amber Rochelle. That's my personal page. I share everything. I'm sharing everyday life tips. I'm sharing mama stress, grandmama stress, and then I follow up with some craziness that's happening. I'm just crazy. However, that's Amber Rochelle on Facebook and Instagram. It's Amber Rochelle 77. And then Queens Supporting Queens is a Facebook group. So you just search the group and then you'll find it. There's some questions there because we're really vulnerable in that group. So we keep it a sacred space for now. So it is Queens Supporting Queens on Facebook. On Instagram, you can find us Queens Supporting _Queens. And then you can also go to my website, www.amberrochelle.co. That's more for if you're looking for speaking engagements or branding information, things like that. You can also email me at info@amberrochelle.co. And then events. Yes. So I'm super excited. This weekend is going to be super dope. I've got an opportunity to speak at Black Women of Arizona. They're celebrating the Black woman this Saturday. So I'm so excited to be in the room with the incredible queens from right here in the state of Arizona. I believe this is their last big event of the year. And Faye, who is over this BWA, she's just great. She's asked me to come out, so I'm super excited about that. And then Sunday, I'll be at a charity event for Glam Gloss Kiss. They are doing a domestic violence awareness conversation. So I'm going to come out and I'm going to just share my story and hopefully empower some queens to lift their crowns in spite of what they're going through and what they've been through. That's happening this Sunday. All of that you can find on social media. I'm just super excited to be in the room with incredible women. When there's a room of incredible women, amazing things happen. Yes. Connections. I love it. I believe. Look at us. Purpose is created when dynamic women are in the same room. So I'm just really excited.
Absolutely. Yes, you guys, make sure you go out and you support Amber Rochelle. Your life will be empowered. You will be changed. Definitely, you guys. And then also make sure that you go ahead and support, go to Amazon, support the two books that I have right now. Yes. The Loud Secret is on Amazon, just paperback only. And this is about my testimony, how you can overcome trauma. It's kind of what we're talking about. And then the latest project is called Singles Let's Deliberate. It's the workbook to empower our single people to prepare themselves prepare yourself to be the right person, you know, before you think you're going to allow somebody else in your life. So go through your healing process. If you need therapy, don't be ashamed. Get therapy so that you are not bleeding on other people that had nothing to do with the wound. We have to make sure that we are being real with ourselves before we think that we're going to get this perfect person.
Yes.
Perfect person does not exist. Keep that in mind, but we can be the best us. And then lastly, I have the Queens Get Kings t-shirt line, you guys. Go ahead. It is about self-worth, understanding that you are royalty, you are a queen, and know that you don't have to settle for less. And that goes for kings get queens as well. It's a two-way street. So you guys, make sure you support. You can go, like I said, to Amazon to get the books. You can reach out to me at Airy Homes on social media to go ahead and get the products as well. And you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And like I always like to end, I'm going to go ahead, do this spoken word piece, and then we're going to get out of here. The broken glass of my heart seemed like it can never be put back again. The pain of my past replayed in my mind over and over again. Nothing made sense. I thought I wore a crown and was a queen, but the trauma that I endured seemed far from royalty. Bound by confusion and fear. God, I know that you said that you'll be near, but the situations I'm encountered seem far, like you were never here. Then the voice whispered to me, I made you and I see you with victory. The enemy can't have you because you belong to me. The enemy can't have you because you belong to me. So buckle up with your armor and your shoes too. The way I'm leading you, you will save many too. Your tests and trials were greater than you. You went through this to remind others that I'm real. No matter what they face, I save and I heal. So let your testimony speak louder than your scars. I've loved you from the beginning. You are a child of mine. You are chosen. You guys stay encouraged and remember to renew your mind. It is the gold mine. Love you guys. Bye.